Hello, my friends. Welcome to Bette Davis Eyes, the series where I try to watch and review every single movie that Bette Davis made on my way to becoming the most prolific reviewer of all time. Why? Because I think that Bette Davis is one of the best actresses and actors of all time, just period. She's one of the best. And I think the reason is that she was able to transition and play very different roles in very different eras of her career, in very different eras of Hollywood, but also the roles that she was playing when she first became like a huge movie star were not very, they were never very stereotypical, even when she was cast in a stereotypical role. And I think that the movie I'm going to talk about today is a perfect example of it. So the movie's called 20,000 Years in Sing Sing, and the title is basically like if you took every inmate in Sing Sing and added up all of their sentences, it would add up to about 20,000 years. And the movie does this in a very good, visually representative way where a guy is walking and you see 1 year, another guy is like 20 years, 30 years, and like you can see all of these numbers, and it gives you just at one glance a quite accurate visual representation of what it means for those men to be here. Um, the movie starts Bette Davis and Spencer Tracy, as I mentioned, and it's about the a guy named Connors, and Connors seems to be a very stereotypical kind of gangster from the 30s. Think somebody who would work for Al Capone or Lucy Luciano, those kind of people. So he gets sentenced to Sing Sing, and he he immediately makes a bad impression. But the warden, just by having this great sense of moral virtue, is able to win him over. And that's the one part about the movie that kind of feels a bit off to me, because the movie is based on a book, and the book was written by the warden of Sing Sing, uh, who actually was the warden of Sing Sing at the time, and the movie was filmed half in Sing Sing and half in Hollywood, and the warden was giving them like advice about how to make the movie and how to make it look more accurate. And I think that that was very, very helpful, but because of that, they had to treat the warden character with kind of kid gloves, even though something happens at the end, which is a bit crazy. So anyway, Tracy's character, Connors, goes through all of this stuff, and he has a girlfriend, and she is played by Bette Davis, and I'll talk more about that performance in a moment because obviously this series is focused on Bette Davis's performances, which is really important for this film, but the film continues with Connors. So Connors, he has a few moments with her, and you can tell that he really likes her, but he is in this prison, so he's thinking about other things. And then there comes this potential way to escape the prison. These three guys have a plan. Well, two guys have a plan, Connors and this other guy. And the other guy wants to try to escape on a Saturday, and Connors is a super superstitious guy, and he says, no, nothing good to me has ever happened on a Saturday. Bette Davis' character, who's named Faye, and Connors have this nice little moment where he is explaining this. He's like, nothing good ever happens to me on Saturday. I got arrested on a Saturday. I got shot on a Saturday. I got like sent to prison on a Saturday. And she's like, well, you met me on a Saturday. And he's like, well, we haven't really decided if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. So basically, the guy wants to escape on a Saturday or attempt to escape on a Saturday. And Connor's like, no way, nope, not on a Saturday, not going to happen. And the escape uh, obviously goes badly. And I think three guards are killed during the escape attempt. And two guys get sent to death row after that, who are just kind of random people who wanted to escape with the guy. And the main leader of the escape attempt, he commits suicide because he doesn't want to be around this anymore. So that happens. Very, very dramatic thing. Meanwhile, in the background, Faye has been attempting to get Connor's lawyer to try to help him more. And obviously, Connor's lawyer wants a little bit more from Faye than either Faye or Connor's want to give him. So the help is kind of stalled. And I have a really great scene, Tracy and Davis, when they're talking about this situation. And he is like explaining to her, like, the closer you are to him, the worse it is for me because he would want to keep me here because I'd be an obstacle to him. And she's like, maybe not. But anyway, what happens in Faye's quest to help him, there's some kind of traffic accident, and Faye is like critically injured. And there's a telegram that's sent to the prison that says that Faye is on her deathbed. And I don't know if it's a Saturday or not, but you can just see Tracy's sort of like devastation as an actor and as the character Connors, that he's stuck in prison and he can't do anything. And I don't think that I've ever seen a Spencer Tracy film, but I had like a different idea of what he was as an actor. And I'm glad that I'm doing this project because it really has been an education and I'm learning so much about, Hollywood and different styles of acting and the history of 1930s films. But anyway, yeah, so he's devastated and he's talking to the warden at the time. And the warden comes up with this great plan, super great plan, that Connors will be able to go see Faye on her deathbed as long as he pinky swears that he's going to come back. And he's like, yeah, I'll come back even if it means the electric chair. And they're like, ha ha ha, that's funny, but really foreshadowing. Um, so then I don't, and the problem I have with that, and it's a big deal in the movie, is why didn't you send a guard or like he is a convicted criminal? You need some kind of guard. Like I can understand why you'd want him to be there at this moment. It's a very nice thing for you to do, but just to have him swear to come back, that seems really, really odd. So anyway, parts of the plot don't make sense, but it's really entertaining actually. So he goes to see Faye and they're talking, and it comes out Faye says that this guy who's supposed to be helping Connors is actually responsible for the accident, and maybe it was on purpose. So Connors is like really, really angry. And this is supposed to be a hospital, mind you. He's really, really angry and he looks in a drawer and there's a gun. So he takes the gun and he's like, yeah, I'm going to kill him. And then Faye's like, no, you can't kill him. You can't kill him. You might get out of prison. And respect my dying wish. And they kiss a lot. I guess Spencer and Betty liked kissing each other because there was a lot of that. And then so basically, Faye convinces Connors not to kill him, and then she takes the gun and she's lying dramatically in bed, and then the guy comes in, and they have a struggle, and Connors is getting his butt kicked, and the guy is gonna like murder him with a heavy telephone, like one of those big ancient telephones, bashing him on the head. So Faye obviously shoots him, and then she tells Connors to run away. So Connors, because obviously Connors will be suspected that he killed the guy. So he runs away, which kind of seals his doom because the guy, as he's dying, he doesn't say that Faye did it. He says that Connors did it. So then there's a big manhunt, and the warden is under all of this criticism because he let this guy out on Scout's honor. And the day he sends his resignation in, the guy comes back and he says, "Yes, warden, I said I'd come back even if it meant the electric chair," because, he's got nothing to live for. He thinks that Faye has died. Spoiler, spoiler for the whole movie, but she didn't die. She's actually alive, and what is like a very remarkable recovery. And I understand why they did this, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's all to do with the timing. And usually when I complain about the timing on my channel, it's usually because the movies are really, really long and the timing just doesn't work. But here, because the movie is so short, it's like an hour and 20 minutes, they bunched a lot of stuff together. So the trial is not on screen. And so we don't see this, but the scene needs to be in the movie anyway, but it doesn't make sense logically because Faye visits Connors in the death cell and basically says, "Hey, I did it. Hey, Warden, I did it." And probably she would have said that earlier. And she's really begging Connors to marry her. And Connors like, "Look, I've given you nothing in my life, and this is the one thing that I can give you. I can," like, it's this trope of basically heroically sacrificing yourself to the justice system to save someone you love. So he's basically like saying, "I love you, I can give you this one thing, let me give you this and let you, don't be tarnished by my reputation, because if you marry me, I am a condemned criminal, and then people are gonna like look at you like damaged goods, basically, like not just in the sense romantically, but in your entire life, it's going to follow you around." And so maybe this would be a good time to talk about Bette Davis's performance, because if you just listen to my description of the plot, it's really like Betty's role is just to be something that motivates the events of the plot clearly, because you want the movie to be this tragic sort of condemnation of the death penalty. And that's why the warden of Sing Sing actually wrote it, because he was against the death penalty. So you want him to be like a guy that you can see ends up dying through no fault of his own. It needs to be like a tragic thing. So that's Spencer Tracy's role. And the role of Bette Davis is to, as I said, to be the motivating factor. Something will happen to her that motivates the events. And I think on paper, it's a really stereotypical role. But what Bette Davis does with the role is she really, really inhabits it. She has like this sort of like nervous energy. The kisses are like larger than life on her deathbed, but also when she just sees him in the prison, there's there's such an attraction between them. And the way that she's acting, you can really, really feel it. Like, this is a person who would do anything for this guy. So that's also kind of paints him in a better picture than we've seen him so far. He's not a thug. He has like levels to his character. And I was watching a review. I think I don't remember the name of the YouTube channel, but anyway, the person was talking about Bette Davis's performance in All About Eve, where it's such a physical performance, where she's like punctuating things and she's moving things dramatically, like subtle little things that she does. And she did it in 1932 in this movie too. So she was like really natural, really gifted actress from the very beginning. Um, yeah, and then there's like these moments where she comes to visit him and he is all hot and bothered and he's like a little bit irritated, like, "Don't come to the prison looking like that. That's cruel and unusual punishment." Basically. So the next time she comes to visit, she looks even better, but her, like, because the first time it's sort of like this sexy 1920s look, and the next time it's like refined, elegant. She's wearing a fitted suit. It looks great. Obviously, I don't know how much she would have had influence on her costumes in 1932, but I think probably she was like, "Yeah, it needs to look like this," because she was a person who uh, took control of all of those little details. And yeah, so it just really works as a film. Is it the best Betty Davis film ever? No, it's not the best Betty Davis film ever. It's not the best film ever, but from 1932, it's really a revelation that how well it holds up. And apparently, Betty Davis and Spencer Tracy, they knew that they had done something special in this movie and they always wanted to work together again. But unfortunately, they never got a chance. So I'm really curious about Spencer Tracy now. Hopefully, I get a chance to watch more of his movies because I think he's an interesting actor as well. All right, that's my review of 20,000 Years in Sing Sing. If you've seen this movie, what do you think about it? Put your thoughts in the comment section. If you like what I do, please like this video. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 40 subscribers by the end of July. We're currently at 20. And it's all on my goal to becoming the most prolific reviewer of all time. Yeah, and about the comments, you can leave recommendations. I love recommendations for films because sometimes I don't know what to pick. But yes, recommend anything you want. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.